hope that Troy's a big part of what we're doing offensively. And one thing I think they got overlooked in all, the pass catching numbers for tight ends are a big part of it, being noticed, but also the impact that they need to have in the run game. And therefore I think, I liked what Foom did last year and kind of how he's evolved. And yet I believe there's room for him to continue to grow and get better, and that has to be the case this year for Foom, in his growth, and I think for us to be as good offense as we can be. Foom needs to be a big part of that, both in the run game and obviously catching and in the passing game. Wanted to bring the team up in spring for a couple reasons. One, just to get together, a chance for this team to continue to grow and get to know each other. I think we're pretty fortunate to be able to play up in Lambeau Field, and there are certainly a lot of parts of Lambeau that our players won't see this weekend that wanted them to get a sense of and to be able to see. For instance, going through the Hall of Fame, and we were able to have a lunch after practice in the club level. So just kind of getting a feel for Lambeau and see some things that they wouldn't be able to see this week, and also to remind them of what's at stake during spring ball. Spring ball is for a purpose, and that's to get ready for the season, and certainly we opened up in Lambeau, and so wanted them to maybe remind them what we're working for in the spring. I know who we are as a team, and I don't really get caught up in underdog, favorite. Our job is the opportunity we have is to play our best game, and that's what you work for, and that's what you get to go out and do each and every Saturday. And so I'm not concerned about what everyone else says, concerned about how we approach it, and ultimately how that transfers into how we play. Yeah, I'm not sure on the future, scheduling and all of that, but I think for your players, I think they're great opportunities, playing against really good football teams. And then they happen to be the last three from the SEC, but I think when you open up against a really good team, I think your older players, your good players, they look forward to that competition. I think your young players have an opportunity to grow up quick, and I think one of the things that you always find out in your first game is a accurate indicator of who you are at that point and where do you have to go. And so I know our kids are excited about this game, and I think having been the last 3 years playing against a really good opponent, they know what to expect, those who have been through it, and it's part of their responsibility to share that with the younger kids that haven't, and us as coaches do the same. But I think they're a really great way to start the season. I like the work that they've been doing and the time that they've been putting in, and I think it'll continue to evolve. Even if they'd have been in every practice this fall camp, didn't think we get to that point, we've arrived. But I do like the way the group has been approaching it, and kind of what we were talking about before, about continual improvement. That's what we hope to see. I like where they're at with what they've, the cards have been handed to them, but yeah, we got to still keep going, and that's it's critical. It's fun to see when everyone knows what the next guy to them is thinking and saying, and we should keep working away at that. Well, extremely important, and he is a really talented football player. I think for good reason. Talked about as being one of the best in the country, and it's always important when you play against a good player. You've got to do all you can to contain him, to try to minimize. They're going to make plays. He's going to make plays, and I think what makes him good is he's extremely talented. I think he's got really good players around him, and looks to me like he loves playing the game. One of the things that I've really liked and appreciated from Justin is this isn't about him, and I think that it'll take on the identity of the players. And You know, I would guess if we're good on defense, it's going to take on the personality of Vince Beagle and T.J. Watt, and you know, we like the group of down linemen that we have with Olive and Alec and Connor and Chikwe. You know, the personality of Orr and Sitchy and T.J. Edwards. You know, the players will determine the personality, and the personality will come out of them, and that's I think that's what we're looking for. That's what I've always thought, that the personality is of those playing. I would love to see a touchdown. I believe it is a penalty.
Did you try to get an interpretation on whether it is a penalty or allow it to happen?
I've been so focused on just making sure that ball can somehow cross that line for the Badgers and try to find a way to keep it from crossing for the Tigers. So I didn't spend a lot of time trying to clarify
You have
that.
to tell your guys not to do it.
We talked about it in the spring, and we'll talk again. He did a lot of good stuff in that game, and he came in, competed, played, gave guys a chance to make plays, and I think that's part of the responsibility of a quarterback, is to play within yourself, but you got to go play, and you got to compete. Thought he did that in that game, and looking forward to seeing him do that, obviously this week and this year, and yeah, I think you're always looking to get better, and you can take moments from that game and what can you do to get better, and you can take moments from today's practice. How can we get better? And we just got to focus on that and keep making those strides.